told my mom to never touch my stuff again after she lost my Louis Vuitton bag. So my mom has this weird habit of borrowing my things without asking. Like she'd take my jewelry, my clothes, even my shoes sometimes. I always let it slide because she'd usually return them eventually, and I didn't want to start drama. But last month was different. I had this vintage Louis Vuitton bag that I saved up for like 8 months to buy. It wasn't some fake knockoff either. This was the real deal. Cost me almost $3,000. I worked double shifts at Target and even sold my old laptop to afford it. The bag was special to me because it was the first expensive thing I ever bought myself. I kept it in perfect condition, stored it in the dust bag, never even took it out in the rain. It was like my prized possession. So anyway, my cousin Natalie was getting married and my mom asked if she could borrow something nice to carry to the wedding. I told her she could use my black clutch or maybe my small Coach purse, but definitely not the Louis Vuitton because it was too expensive. She nodded and said, okay, no problem. I went to work that Saturday feeling good about setting boundaries, but when I got home Sunday evening, I noticed my closet looked different. The Louis Vuitton dust bag was empty. My heart literally dropped to my stomach. I ran downstairs screaming for my mom. She was in the kitchen making dinner like nothing happened. When I asked where my bag was, she got this guilty look on her face and said she'd borrowed it for the wedding because her other purses didn't match her dress. I was pissed but tried to stay calm. I asked her to go get it so I could put it back safely. That's when she dropped the bomb. She said she couldn't remember where she put it after the reception. I lost my mind. I started yelling about how I specifically told her not to touch that bag and how much money it cost. She just kept saying sorry over and over, but that wasn't going to bring my bag back. We spent the next 3 hours calling everyone from the wedding. My aunt said she saw my mom with the bag during dinner, but not after. The venue said they found some lost items, but no purse. Even checked Natalie's hotel room. Nothing. My mom offered to pay me back, but she's on disability and barely makes $800 a month. There was no way she could afford $3,000. Plus, the bag was discontinued, so I couldn't even get the same one again. The worst part was how she kept making excuses. First, she said maybe someone stole it from her car. Then she thought maybe she left it at the restaurant they went to after. Every story was different and nothing added up. I was so hurt that she disrespected my boundaries and lost something so important to me. This wasn't like losing a $20 earring. This was my biggest purchase ever. 2 weeks later, she texted saying she found it, but when she brought it over, it was clearly a cheap fake from some website. The leather was plastic, the stitching was crooked, and it smelled like chemicals. She actually thought I wouldn't notice the difference. I handed it back to her and told her to never touch any of my belongings again. I put a lock on my bedroom door and moved all my valuable stuff to my boyfriend's apartment.